Moses passed all, what happened to Israel? You find it right in the book of Judges several times, and they all did what was right in their own eyes. Do that sound familiar today?
Yes, sir.
Everybody is doing what they think is right in their own eyes. I don't believe this, I don't believe that. What do we believe anymore? We need to face this, y'all. We need to face ourselves. The book of Judges shows us a time that is sometimes confusing and difficult and dark. For this reason, we got to stop and think about some of the things that is there. So, what was going on? We talk about love. The heathens, they talk love all the time. Some of these folks, they God. Some of the gods that they served was the God of love. And they had temples where they made love. They had both male and female temples that they could go to. They had gods that they could look up to. Baal was their key figure of God. It was Baal. And that word Baal means El, which means that they call. And if you go into the language of the Hebrew, you'll find the word El also means God. And when you look at it, God took some of them names that they had so he could point out to Israel, and the word El, which means God, which is a strong one. And that's what the Canaanites did with their God. They trusted in these non-seeing, non-speaking, non-moving idols that they could look up to for the sun to bless them, for the rain to fall, for their crops to grow. But then they realized it was not their God that did this. It was the promises of God, because he had already postseason in place. So Baal and Belial and all, none of them had any power to bring this down. They had God fixed out in the field somewhere, so they could go when they passed by. They could follow and pray to that God. What do we see today? The same thing is happening. So what we need to do is wake up, y'all. Wake up. We are living in that time. We're living in a time that we see some of the same action going on in our time, that there is not proper leadership in this day. Now, when the old school is gone, we're going to have to ask some questions. And some of them, the old school is moving on, and they already have made some changes. Yeah. Let me say this. Every generation, a religious movement, or people, going to have somebody, they said the same thing about us when we got saved, that we're going to change that. Some of us did change some things that we got older and realized that we was in the bad fix. Some of us, we go through all our life sometimes and we, and then when we get older, we realize that we don't miss something. We really need to stop and think about whether we have really committed ourselves completely to God. Because sometimes our young generation they're not in bad condition because they just think of something. They have been watching us. We can say what we want. They watched us. So you just come think about some of our children even today, as we was coming up and we was young and folks thought we were crazy and everything. Some of us did not give our total heart to what we were doing. We just needed and wanted to do something so we could say this. Because see, some of us could have done better in a physical sense, or in an intellectual sense. We could have done a whole lot better. But we was here waiting on God to fix it for us. And now that we done got to the point we say, I'm too old to go to school, so you won't educate yourself, you won't prepare yourself, so therefore, there are some things that our children are learning today that we are far behind on. We don't have no idea what they're talking about.
Amen.
And they be giving all kinds of signs and everything. Yeah, man, it's all right. It's all right as long as those signs do not cause something bad in it. Some of us holler, what is that? Well, learn what it is before you condemn what it is or what it's not. Yeah, some of us we don't even. Did you know that some of us, even as adults, we sometimes remain so physically sick, and we want to be sick. The doctor can give us marijuana, and we don't even know he done gave it to us. And we go to bed.